I don't know if any of you have experienced what I'm about to share, what I've experienced, particularly as this relates to frequency slash T, uh, wave speed vectors of communication, of tones, sound and light tones. And so I've shared in many of my videos, like when I was a little boy, I was on fire to learn. And so you can see, if you think of a risk factor, when you get into risk analysis, the quantitative and qualitative analysis of risk, when we communicate, when it is translated and perceived and communicated back as it relates to security protocols, when a gift is translated as judgment. As being superior or arrogant. And how that relates directly to the speed of learning. As that relates to the speed of learning with machines, and the speed of learning being one with an eternal Son. And that's why the security is as tight can be after 3 trillion years as a result of that. Tied directly to the Borgia matrix quarantine. Because remember how they used to code when you're a student growing up? Because I know this. Act like you're dumb as rocks. Remember that old saying? Rocks are not dumb. Oh, full Rashabali avatar, rocks will communicate with us. Like the one down there in Hilo Library, when Lemurian Light asked me, that rock was communicating to me. Robert, I think you might be able to go over there and find out, what is that rock communicating to me? I don't seem to be able to translate it. I'm a little miffed. That was sort of her response. So remember what I did? Put my hand on the rock. Okay, buddy, what's going on? Let me know. So I got the communication. It wants to go back to the island of Kauai. That's its home base. Oh, base 12. That's a base 12 rock. Yes. So when I communicated that back to Leia, I said, the rock wants to go home. That child wants to go home. Home base, base 12. The Purple Heart, the passageway home. The gold. The silver and gold mated Ruche. Oh, whoa. That must be Mount Waialeale. Bingo. I know. See, I get hit as soon as I get to bingo, and it realizes what I experience in me. Once that's what it does. It's a circuit breaker. Break the flow, right? And so I've had a lot of those experiences in my childhood. So it's like, don't share what you're learning. Don't share why you're here. Don't share what you're learning. Shut up. Keep your ear to the ground. Just pay attention. Oh, pay attention. Right? The pay to play game. Pay to play. To pay for pain. How the game board actually operates. The system, the mechanics, the mathematical system, how it operates, what it is. Right? The traps, the consciousness traps. So this is why when I was talking about just surface talk, and we're just, the program's running in the background, and that's called safe. Just being safe. Don't get too deep into the deep files. The deeper files. You start file sharing all this. Now we're into what we know, when we know, why we know it, when we know it, and whether or not we share that. As it relates to what? Exposing all the files. Now the files come to light. As my dad used to say, put some light on that subject matter. What is it informing us of? I don't think you want to know. And remember the movie with Tom Cruise? There's the one with Minority Report, but the other one, you can't handle the truth. And it's going to come back and bite you. It has done that. It's come back and bitten me because they realize you're sharing a lot of things that others have not learned. Okay? And how that relates to the speed of learning. So if you're learning at a higher rate of speed because you're serving the one to become light as light can be, then you're naturally experiencing a higher rate of speed because you're serving the one. Because there is no separation between what I am and what you are, which is what love is. Because that's what I am. Because that's why I experience being what I am in my mirror, the mirror that I am, the unici, the unity wave, the unici, the crystal waveform, the eternal waveform, the heart key, the heart wave, the eternal electrical wave, the eternal electrical sound wave. Join as one with pure absolute love, kundares. Right? So you know how sensors are, how sensors work. Right? And there was a guy that I know I've shared this man's name before. He wrote a book about this called Dumbing Down. I can't remember whether it was Dumbing Down America or Dumbing Children Down. Okay? And so it's sort of like when you're doing the work, just in other words, it's sort of like communicate in such a way in which you're aware of the programs that they're running, so you just keep it on that level, okay? You don't want to go into all the deeper stuff to expose all the program, right? And then as seen in the Matrix, right, it's your fault, and now they want to report you, just like you see in the courtrooms, right? Because they realize if you're running pure as pure can be, and they're not, and they're held captive by something that you're not, they will know it. See? It's some way loosely translated as somehow or other you manage to be able to keep your energy pure, and I'm still held captive by something that isn't. And so that's the Neo, and it's your fault. That is the Borgia Matrix quarantine. That's how you know. And it actually has a lot to do with P codes, parasitic codes, or if you will, 66 and 2/3. The 666 beast system, the 222. I wrote a little blurb to that beautiful spirit that's up in Lake Huron, right up there on the near Toronto, and mentioned to her about teepees, cone heads, teepees, native spirits across the plains, just why it looks the way that it does, a cone, right, a circle of fire. Okay, and then when you know why that is, and then you realize when you go into a house and the way that it's wired up at 60 hertz, right? And how that relates to the 72, the half of the 144. The 60 hertz is the beast system. So the beast system, the holographic beast system, the phantom vacuum, the false light spiritual torture chamber, is why they wired the houses up that way. That's why there's a Lemurian plug over there. Well, sorry, I put something in front of it, but I shared a picture of a Lemurian plug, and that has helped. It's one of the reasons why most of my life, even when I was a small little boy, I could not stand to be in that house. I had to be outside all the time, usually running around in bare feet, either in forests or on beaches. Right, free electrons, and so it is what I use different words to describe. I call it the art of navigating, the creative art of navigating healing codes, or the art of communication, the art of love that is communicating with others. And when you're operating in a vampiric energy zone, be careful. Particularly as trauma-based triggers, when that recorder kicks on, whoop, there it is. Now that recorder keeps one. It's like a broken record. Shut that broken record off. Shut that broken record off. Shut that broken record. It keeps wanting to come back. It keeps wanting to keep looping and keep looping and keep looping. And you see what happens to drive you insane. As anxiety, stop. Be calm. Be calm. The anxiety-driven 666 programs. Because the offset is 15 degrees. Okay, so that offset means it's not compatible with 45. Just like when in the 50s, when they were selling, what was it, 45s, the little disc, the vinyl records. And what were the other ones, the big albums? What were they at, 33 1/3? Remember those? How that relates to 66, right? 666 and 33 1/3. 333, air sign. Right? One's phantom, one's eternal. And the difference between the two is a delay. I call it a tape delay. That's what it is. And you can see it if you were who I am, and when I do my videos, right? And if sometimes I go back to look at them, I can see the gaps, like edits, because that's what the system is. It's not airtime. It's not real time. It's fake time. False light memories. False light memory-driven program apps. Google apps. Goo. The goo codes. The catalyst of those codes. What holds that cube together? Right? The goo codes. Red goo, black goo. Red pulse wave, implosion coded wave. Keep compressing the nucleotides. Yeah, and so anyway, this is just another file share about TPs. TP4, ammonium phosphorus, the fertilizer treatment. Planting Godseed everywhere. You need a grower, right? What's the fastest grower I know to accelerate a universe that is in love with itself? In love with itself, in love with our mirror, in love with ourselves, the inner selves, the inner and the outer breath. Yeah. Experiencing being loved, being totally relaxed. And so anyway, I'm just having fun, being calm, being true, being whole, being music, the radiance, the very first shine of an aurora, right? The inner crystal rainbow, pink, scaling pink waves, and keeping it simple. Keep it simple. Thank you all for being here.